You don't have to know your wicked from your waitress or your learner from your low to enjoy the many absurdist mockumentary joys of theater camp, but it helps. Alonzo, tell us about it.
Oh, it definitely helps.
You guys are so talented, so unbelievable. This will break you. This will fully destroy you.
Congratulations on being the most talented kids at camp.
This is a film that is directed by Molly Gordon and Nick Lieberman, and Molly Gordon is one of the stars. She and Ben Platt play longtime platonic pals who are among the most dedicated instructors at a theater camp that takes place every year that is run by Amy Sedaris' character. She unfortunately suffers a stroke during a strobe light sequence at a grammar school production of Bye Bye Birdie and is in the hospital. So everyone's trying to figure out how to put together this year's program, especially when her idiot son, played by Jimmy Tatro, seems like he has no idea how to do anything and fancies himself a financier and is probably going to make some terrible deals with the rival rich kids camp that is being represented by Patti Harrison. The film also stars Noah Galvin as the much beleaguered tech guy who gets his moment to shine late in the film. And if this all sounds like Todd Graff's comedy Camp, you're not wrong. It is about a theater camp and about the singularly theater people who show up for it every year, but also mixed with a dollop of Christopher Guest style mockumentary. Mm-hmm. And all of those ingredients sound great. And the results are okay, I guess. There are some laughs and there are some moments that really work and a couple of original songs that are kind of bangers. But I don't know, this movie is one of those films that just always feels like it's on the verge of taking off and really becoming something memorable and funny and outrageous and it never does. And the people making it, I think, understand this world and understand the drive of people who, like, even, in fifth grade or like obsessed with, Sondheim or whatever. But it just doesn't. It feels like an improvisational exercise that never quite gels. That was my takeaway, and I did maybe go in with too high of hopes because I love Camp so much, the Todd Graff film. But yeah, this never quite took off for me.
Yeah, I agree. I was excited about this too. It looks really fun. I mean, just the individual ideas here are very clever. Some of the lines are very, very funny. Like the name of the camp is Adirondack Axe.
Yes.
ACTS. Like there's just some funny bits here and there. Yeah. And Molly Gordon and Ben Platt like grew up together, and some of the footage you see in the beginning of little kids on stage, like that's them.
Yeah.
Like this is in their bones. And so like this is a world that they know. They are skewering it very affectionately. There's a lot of love for this. But this began life as a short. It was an 18-minute long short that the 4 screenwriters all put together during the pandemic. And you can sort of feel those origins here and feel that like that central concept has been stretched thin. And so when it is about the audition montages and the rehearsal montages and individual like sort of inside baseball references here and there, and just how seriously they all take this and how absurd that is, that can be a lot of fun. And the kids themselves are ridiculously talented.
Yes.
Like, I kind of wish they'd spent more time with the kids beyond like, here's a little girl belting out a show tune, and that's, and the thrill of that. Like there's a whole thing with Alan Kim, the little boy from Minari, and how he is this aspiring agent. Like he wears a suit and makes pretend phone calls and he thinks he's making deals. That's a really funny idea that they don't do anything with. Ayo Edebiri, who I know you are a big fan of, who was Molly Gordon's co-star on The Bear this past season, and they're old friends. Like, the idea of her presence is a really funny notion that they don't do enough.
Doesn't go anywhere. Yeah.
There's so much here that's like, here's a funny idea. Here's a funny idea. Amy Sedaris, they sidelined for the vast majority of the film. Like she's there for the first 5 minutes. She and Caroline Aaron, as the woman who runs the camp alongside her, have some nice funny moments, like, veteran comic actors here. And like, there's so much potential in that dynamic. And like, they have her in a coma for the whole movie. And so, I think when it tries to rely on the drama between these two friends and how their paths might be diverging at this point, like that is not nearly as interesting to me as the day in, day out, like raw, let's put on a show energy that is at times very, very infectious, right? So it's got a lot of, the problem is there's too many films who've done this better. Like Waiting for Guffman does this better.
Yeah.
Wet Hot American Summer does this better. You know,
Yeah.
so that's a problem.
Yeah, if you're going to tread upon this subject matter, then yeah, you better bring something new to the table because a lot of people got there first.
Yeah.
And you would think that these folks would because of their long-term relationships with each other, but also just their understanding of, I mean, Ben Platt, look, we hated Dear Evan Hansen, but he was in the Broadway show too. Like he really understands how this world works, and that you don't get any of that sort of insider insight into this. And so you're just kind of left with an idea of a comedy that never becomes a really successful comedy, unfortunately.
Right. And Molly Gordon is adorable. Like as Carmi's girlfriend on The Bear, like she's so likable. She's just got that thing that you can't stop watching. She's so cute. And they have some fun chemistry with each other. She's just totally self-serious with her like past lives exercises. And like she's a lot of the lyrics in these songs are intentionally terrible, which is hilarious. Like they're so bad.
Well, and there's a great bit where she hasn't written a song yet and has to sort of make one up on the spot that plays out in a really interesting way. That's one of my favorite things in the movie. Yeah. But there's not enough of those things that really like, oh, that's a cool idea, and they take it somewhere. Usually it's the cool idea, and then that's where it ends.
So what's your number?
Like a 6.2. It's a real, I mean, it's fine. And if you are a hardcore theater person, there's plenty for you to glean. But really, if you haven't seen Todd Graff's Camp yet, that's the movie to see.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'll say like a 6. Yeah, so Searchlight picked this up for a whole lot of money at Sundance. It is out in theaters this weekend as, I guess, sort of alternative programming to Mission Impossible.
Not a bad idea.